Chelsea have signed Joao Felix on a loan deal. Helping me explore this monumentous news is the wonderful Adeola Depot. Thank you very much.
Monumentous news.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Why?
Well, because it's huge. It's huge for many reasons. It's huge for football. It has ramifications on Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal were pursuing him. That probably now means that they
Manchester United as well.
And it probably means that Arsenal have a clear path for Mudryk. But it has knock-on effect. There is a merry-go-round.
Yeah.
So we are now entering it. I'm going to be totally honest with you, Ad. I'm not over the moon. I think he's a very good player. The talent is there. But I think if you were to say to me, name 20 Chelsea targets that would improve the team, I'm not sure that yet another forward who isn't quite a number 9
Good shout.
is what I have
I
in
know
mind.
exactly what you mean. You're not buying an out-and-out striker here. You're buying another wide forward. And it's not a wide forward who you think will score goals at the rate of a Salah or a Mane or a Son last season. This is a wide forward. You look at his record for Atletico Madrid over the last few years. And yes, there's been times he's been out of the squad and injured, but he's getting 10 goals a season here. He's chipping in with 8, chipping in with 6 or 7. Not saying he can't do it in the Premier League, because I don't want to be one of those people like, he cannot do it, because he probably can. But when you think of the fee, and look, to an extent, fans will probably say, well, I don't care about the fee. But when you think of the fact you're going to pay his wages, which are ridiculous, around 6 or 7 million a year, you're paying Atletico Madrid an 11 million transfer fee as well. He's costing you not too much short of 20 million euros for 6 months, which I find crazy. Honestly, I find that crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
It's a lot of money.
And his record troubles me. Look, there is one reason why I am incredibly upbeat.
Yeah.
Firstly, Chelsea need improvements, and therefore signing good players is good news. If you take football and take transfers to their most simplistic level, Joao Felix is a good footballer, therefore Chelsea signing a good footballer is good news.
Yeah.
It also, there is a huge bonus, potentially means we don't have to witness Kai Havertz play football anymore, or as much.
No, not really, because this is the problem with Joao Felix. I've asked a lot of people, and I've spoken to people today about his position. I spoke to Kev Hatchard, who you know from TalkSport, knows a lot about European football, and he plays on the left. He sometimes floats in the middle, on the right. So I don't know whose position in that front three he's taken for Chelsea. My issue with Chelsea, and me and you've discussed this, and it's very similar to Liverpool when they got Cody Gakpo. Yeah, I'm excited. You're bringing a talent to the club. Sorry, I've got issues in midfield. That's where my biggest problem lies, and I feel like for Chelsea, there's a big problem there. So you'd think the money could be better spent. Does he replace Raheem Sterling when Sterling's fit? Does he replace Pulisic? I don't know. You probably know better than I do. I felt like you needed an out-and-out number 9. But they seem to be rare in this world of football nowadays. So maybe you are just trying to do what Arsenal do, which is share the goal burden, rather than get a through-the-middle striker that can put 25 goals in for the season.
Yeah, I can't understand it. Also, if what we're led to believe is true, Joao Felix had the opportunity to sign for both Arsenal and Manchester United.
Yeah.
And while I would love to sit here and gloat, Chelsea pip those two clubs to the player, or Joao Felix buys into the Chelsea project over that what's going on at Arsenal or Manchester United. It can't be true, can it?
No.
So I don't understand the sign. It's not that I'm not optimistic. It's not that I'm not in favour of the signing. It's that it feels like an awful lot of money. He's been at Atletico Madrid for 3.5 years. He's never scored more than 10 goals.
Yeah.
He is joining a Chelsea team that are bereft of idea. We're a team in turmoil. Is he going to be the player to change that? And then crucially, as I open this segment, if I were to think of, I could honestly name a dozen footballers that would improve Chelsea like that. And I would never have said Joao Felix.
Let's be brutally honest about what he is as well. Like, I think he's a fantastic talent. And it's funny because I looked on his record recently. I'm like, oh my God, he's only 23, because he feels like he's been around for so long. That's because he was one of those young talents that everyone thought was going to take the world by storm. They bought him for £113 million from Benfica. He had one good season there. One. Not several, he had one. And they thought, you know what? We found the new, whatever it might be, the new Neymar. He's flopped. He's not lived up to 113.
Whoa.
No, he's flopped. He's flopped. There's no two ways about it.
Flop.
They wouldn't be sending him out on loan. Again, let me tell you the price tag. 130, the fourth highest priced to ever be paid for a footballer, ever. £113 million. He's flopped. That's what they're doing. They send him out on loan because it's not just worked. He had a good Euros and he's kind of built his stock back up because of that Euros. But ultimately, it's just not worked out. They bought him, again, as the next Neymar. They bought him as that next superstar that's going to take Atletico Madrid to the next level, and he's just not delivered. He got 20 goals for Benfica that season they bought him, and as you just said, he's not scored more than 10 for Atletico Madrid. They've tried other options, it just hasn't worked.
So Chelsea spending £12 million on a loan is not...
Chelsea are doing it, and you know Chelsea. Chelsea are doing it because Chelsea do crazy things. As we've seen over the last few years, Arsenal didn't want to do the loan. Arsenal didn't want to do that loan fee. I'm not trying to say he would have picked Chelsea over Arsenal because that's close. It's the Jesus thing again, right? It's very, very close between the two. But Arsenal are never paying 11 million for the loan. I don't think Man United are paying that much for a loan deal either. Chelsea are desperate. They've got injuries. Aubameyang clearly is going to be booted out of the club. They need someone.
But what I don't understand, Eddie, you know, any Chelsea fan, if you speak to any Chelsea fan, they will say one of two things for you. If you were to say to them, what do you need this window? 50% will say a midfielder. The other 50% will say fullback cover. They are the two essential ingredients.
Interesting.
Don't get me wrong, Chelsea could improve everywhere. I think we could do with a new number one goalkeeper. I think we could do with loads of new signings, to be totally frank with you, because I think there are probably at least 8 players who aren't good enough to play for Chelsea. But the obvious glaring error where we need reinforcements, fullback, midfield, and where we have lots of players, the Joao Felix role, not the number 9, but equally off the number 9 or off the wing, or, you know, that kind of footballer. We have an abundance of that. So this, again, reeks of Chelsea's transfer strategy being all over the place.
It's disastrous. And this is... And I tweeted this about Graham Potter. And look, he's getting a lot of stick right now, and understandably so. But I said he needs to sign his players. He would never sign Joao Felix. Obviously, look, given the opportunity, you want to work with world-class players, Joao Felix might come into that bracket. I don't believe he's a world-class player, but he might come into that bracket. Chelsea do need people to put the ball in the back of the net. That's obvious. But again, he's not the kind of player that's doing your 30th season. It's like, okay, we're buying him because this guy's going to get us 20 before the end of the season. You just have to look at his record. I've got it in front of me right now. In La Liga, this is, again, he's played games. He's been in and out of the squad a little bit, but he's played games. His first season for Atletico Madrid, this is in the league, 6 goals. Second season, 7 goals. Third season, 8 goals. This season, 4 goals. I kid you not. If I was to bring up Reece James' record, it'd probably be like that. This is 18 million a year. I mean, sorry, for 6 months.
But there is a player in there. There's no doubt that there's a player in there. There's no doubt that he is capable of doing some very exceptional things on a football pitch. Does he maybe need a new challenge? Because effectively the entire tone throughout this video has been one of negativity.
Yeah,
we've been saying that it's too expensive, and I think that we're in agreement there. We're saying it's not what Chelsea need. We're in agreement there.
That's the thing for me, Rory. If it was what you needed, then sometimes you just got to pay what you got to pay. Sometimes the market dictates, and you've just got to pay for it. I thought Martin Odegaard and that loan deal was maybe a bit overpriced, but in the end it's worked out well financially, and it's what Arsenal needed. They need number 10, it's worked out well. Is he what you need? And can he fill a void at Chelsea? I don't know if he's what you need, and I don't think he's the player. Look, he's a player that could come amongst other players. If at the end of this window you've signed 3 midfielders and Joao Felix, fair enough, right, and a fullback, you've done your work. If at the end of the window all you've got is Joao Felix, when Pulisic will come back and Sterling will come back, and I know you're a big fan of Hakim Ziyech, honestly, it is a bit like the Cody Gakpo one, where I like Cody Gakpo, but Luis Diaz is going to come back in a couple of months.
Look, I do get what you're saying, right? There is a punt here. But Chelsea also are in terrible form. We're all over the place. We're lacking in so many departments, and the quality isn't there. We need to take a punt. And if we end up with a fit and firing and hungry Joao Felix, we have one of the best footballers potentially in the world. If it goes well, if he finds his rhythm, if he finds his feet, if he can find the consistency, he will bring something very special to the Premier League and to Chelsea.
You said if there 5 times in about 20 seconds.
No, there's a punt.
The problem.
No, there's jeopardy. There is real jeopardy.
And the problem with Chelsea is your last 20 signings have been punts. Everyone seems to be a punt. There's a punt in Havertz. There's a punt. Let's get Lukaku back in. There's a punt in Ziyech. There's a punt in Sterling. There's a punt in Aubameyang. Punt, Cucurella. Fofana. Like, how many more? Aren't there any certainties anymore with Chelsea?
Look, I think that he will use this as an opportunity to show what he can do, though.
Yeah.
Like, there is.
And how much is it going to cost you if he does do well? What was the fee we had?
Well, the trouble is we haven't even got the guarantee that we can. I mean, I think they value him at what do they value him at? Somewhere around the 100 mark?
Well,
80,
they got
80
him for
to
100, 113. They're going to want some of that back. He's 23. They're going to want some of that back.
But I think they must concede that he isn't that player anymore. Because at the time, didn't you say at the beginning of this that that made him the 5th most expensive player in the world? Fourth
most expensive player to ever play football.
But he isn't.
So it's Neymar, Mbappe, Coutinho.
But he's okay. So he isn't that. But there is a player there, and I think the way that he carries the ball is exceptional. Something that Chelsea don't really have.
Yeah.
The way that he can spot a pass, superb.
Mm-hmm.
His hero growing up was Kaká. And if he can emulate...
He's kind of like that, isn't he? He actually looks like him a bit.
He's got the Kaká vibe.
Yeah.
Look, if he can emulate that, bringing others into play, good finisher, picks the ball up deep, drives forward, keeps Kai Havertz off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are so many reasons why this is negative. And I think there are so many things for other fans to look at and think that this is foolish from Chelsea. Mm. And on a lot of levels, I don't disagree. But I also think we have to acknowledge that he's also potentially a brilliant player who, if he lands, and that this is the good thing about this level of jeopardy, if it fits, Chelsea suddenly become a threat for top 4. If he lands, that's the kind of player he is. We are signing a player that is capable of putting Chelsea in the conversation for top 4.
No, not having that. No chance. I mean, he's good. He's not that good. He's not that good. He really isn't that special. I mean, I think the problem is, and we do it over here with a lot of players, you're world class all of a sudden because of a good season or a good game. I don't think he's that. I don't think you're signing that. I don't think they let that go. I don't think Atletico Madrid let that go when they don't have that much up front themselves. So I don't think he's that. I think he's a good player, but I still think there's additional additions that need to be brought into the club. And look, it's almost... Again, you used the word a lot when you spoke about Chelsea. You always use that word scattergun approach. This seems like it. Chelsea weren't even linked with him a couple of days ago. It was Arsenal or Man U. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's Chelsea. And I'm like, where's that come from?
And I don't think it's what we need. I'm doing my best here, Addy. I'm trying. I don't think it's what we need. No. We've got an abundance of players that play in that sort of position. Yeah. I think that he is slightly temperamental himself, and he's coming to Chelsea that are very temperamental. We're an unstable club. There's a project going on, and nobody really knows in what direction the ship is sailing. So
the only positive here, Rory, and I think you mentioned it, is that he's a very, very good footballer. Yeah. And sometimes football's simple. Just bring me the best footballers.
Bring me somebody who knows where the back of the net is and is better than Kai Havertz. Just do that, it's an upgrade. If nothing else, it's better than that.
And what it also does as well, every time a good footballer comes into a club, especially if he's got the right attitude, everyone's level goes up a little bit. Everyone's level goes up. And look, he could be that guy where it raises Mason Mount's level again because he's gone quiet for the last few months, all season really. So maybe it's one of those where everyone now's on their toes. Is Ziyech thinking I lose my place? Pulisic, if he gets back, Raheem Sterling, who's been a bit hit and miss. Does everyone think, who's he taking? So does everyone? So that could be what it does.
And you never know. Look, I think that there is a chance he could do that. Like just raise the tide. Yeah. Everything improves because look, Addy, I'm going to be totally frank with you at the end of this video.
Go
on. I don't believe anything I just said. I really don't. But I think this is a mess. But I have a responsibility to try and explore. I mean, this is mad, isn't it?
I just find it nuts.
Like, I mean, it's one of them that I look at it, right, and I think, how much? For who? What's his track record? To play with who and where? What can possibly go wrong?
Mate, it's so... honestly, Chelsea's recent transfers have just been all over the place. It's bad. It really is. So like, again, when you look at what Arsenal, I hate to compare to London, but we look at Arsenal done in their signing, you think, I kind of see how that makes sense. Zinchenko coming in, we needed that because Tierney's never really fit. Jesus, because Lacazette's gone and Aubameyang's gone. We've got a forward now. Odegaard, we need that number 10 because we've had no... I kind of see what they're doing with... Yeah. They're not just, take that. Chelsea, it's almost literally like someone... We've got him available, we'll have him.
And do you know what, Ad?
We'll have him.
Think about the project at Arsenal and then think why he's not going to Arsenal.
Money.
They've decided against
Arsenal
it,
have decided against it. They've looked at the 11 minutes, they've looked at the fee, worked it out and thought, you know what, no.
They've decided against we'll stick with There's no way that you can look at Chelsea today and prefer to sign for Chelsea over Arsenal. You just can't.
There's no way.
You just can't.
I didn't want to say I'm happy you said it. There's no way.
You can't because it would be lunacy.
You look at the manager, like you don't even know if their manager's going to be there.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You look at Arsenal and you think, honestly, he looks at Arsenal, he looks at Saka, he looks at Jesus, he looks at all Odegaard, who's gone there on loan and flourished, looks at all the team and thinks, wow. Yeah. Then he looks at the table.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Chelsea had the track record of winning trophies, but he looks at the table. One's top of the table, one's 10th.
Yeah. Unless it's the Champions League.
Maybe.
But who knows?
Maybe.
Thank you, Addy. Really appreciate you exploring this.
I love your honesty. It came out in the end. I love it. You tried your hardest, but it came out.
Thank you as well for watching this video. We really do appreciate it. Will you do me a favour before you go anywhere? Please subscribe to Ade Oladipo's channel. The link is in the description below. Really helps me out. Otherwise, he'll stop doing these videos with me. And I love exploring these with him. Let us know your thoughts. Is it going to work for Joao Felix at Chelsea? Let me know. And I'll see you all in a bit. Ta-da.